Hi everybody, welcome back to another live. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them with their well-being. And as you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference to people's lives. And today, this week, I'm super excited to be talking to my friend Daniela. Daniela, please tell us about yourself and what you do. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. So I'm Daniela C Merlano. I'm a positive psychologist and coach, recently graduated for my master's. Whee! Um, and what I do now is I founded a product called Thrive, which is aiming to build a tool for emotional uplifting, which is thought and known for proactive well-being. It's like emotional fitness. So I can go through it a little bit more later on, but the brilliance of it is bringing to life tools like AI generative imagery tools and NLP systems for the benefit of us knowing ourselves better and understanding how we can choose which emotions we'd like to choose so we can have a better life. Um, so that's what I'm learning on and moving forward with right now. I'm very excited for that journey.
Sounds absolutely fascinating. I just love the way you've combined so many things together. So you chose this title, Connecting Emotions and AI with Positive Psychology. Tell us, we've had so many comments about how interesting this title is as well. So can you tell us what made you choose this and what does it mean?
Yeah. Um, what made me choose this title was because I think it pretty much frames um, the dots I'm connecting within my own work, which means this all started because I have a long journey with meditation and with active imagination, which is something started by a huge writer that you can find things around called Carl Jung, and
Yeah.
and is how we have the power of understanding how to heal ourselves and how to move forward in our inner growth path when we understand it as a constant growth, using our own imagination and understanding what is that telling and talking about us. So I've been using meditation for emotional purposes in means of dialing down anxiety, stress, and self-doubt and fear, but
Okay.
also to level up and build in myself a booster of the emotions that makes me move and makes me improve, and move forward any difficult situation that I could be going through. So all of this to say that when I started using, thanks to a artist friend called Monomo, and understanding the AI clip tools from a different perspective, I thought of the brilliance of getting something that with the right guidance, with understanding the purpose of it and the intention of it, um, building this emotional connection with the images that we can produce from what actually connects to us. And that's how phototherapy works or art therapy works. So it works around building with visuals, with colors, with textures that connects us emotionally. Um, Something that makes us release, something that makes us understand ourselves better. That's why I love talking to artists. And actually, one fun fact is phototherapy and art therapy can
Yeah.
reduce between 20 and 50% stress and anxiety because of the act of releasing in the way we feel like
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds so exciting. I love everything you said about the emotional and emotions because I think, emotional well-being, emotional regulation, emotional intelligence is super important. And I think, and it's only now, well, the past few years since with the coaching, that I've realized how important it is to talk about our emotions. And I love like what you said about choosing our emotions because of course everything is based on our emotions, isn't it? We do everything based on our emotions. So this is absolutely incredible what you're doing, and I love how you're connecting it as well to current trends like AI and metaverse as well. I guess.
Yes, in well, I'm not going through the metaverse road that
Okay.
much, but
Okay.
I've been asked this question. Is just I think um I think I'm caring more about the impact that I can see and feel right now.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot going on VR therapy, for example, which is great using metaverse technology, and I think those are
Okay.
other types of solutions that are lovely.
Yeah.
So how I see this is I always make a comparison with the physical world because sometimes we're more connected to it, so it feels easier to understand. So how
Yeah.
I see it is, as for the physical world, we know that for having a healthy body, we can't do abs the whole day. We also have to train our legs. We also have to run and train our cardio. We need our tools to eat better. And that's all about just the body. So emotionally wise, it's the same. So it doesn't mean that if I find just one type of solution, that's the only one I need. It means that I have to be curious enough to try the different solutions in distinct of the technology they're at to understand what connects to me,
Oh, I
what
love that.
matters. And that's one of the things that I advocate for with Thrive and is welcome to take charge of your well-being because it's yours.
Yes.
Nobody can do the work for us.
Oh God, I love that. And I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said, we have to explore, don't we? What's right for us. There's, just because something doesn't work for us immediately, we need to be flexible and change, adapt, try something else. It's a work in progress, isn't it? It's not just going to be, okay, I found my solution, fix, there we go, the end. It's not like that, is it? There's no quick fix.
There's no quick fix. And the most beautiful thing is that the more we explore, the more we're open for understanding that what works for us doesn't have to work for everyone, but it's still
Yeah.
nice to talk about it, to give the chance to people to train and to try. Um, that perspective is really important. And actually, I want to highlight Paula that she's here listening because we had an amazing talk about perspective recently, and perspective gives us creativity. So, if, for example, you have an experience over Thrive solution or whatever other solution, um, you have a perspective around it that mine could be different, but we're both caring about knowing ourselves, and that's
Yeah.
what matters the most. And
Yes.
about choosing the emotions is according to that as well. So I know that positive psychology sometimes brings the idea of being just positive, but actually it's more about thriving. And within thriving and flourishing, we all go through all the emotions anyways. The
Yeah.
difference is how we understand them and how we
Yes.
choose to manage them so we can
Yes.
still move upwards in the general in the zoom out picture of our growth. um so that's why I say to choose the emotions, because actually I have here a little thing. It's in Spanish, but it says emotional connection,
Oh wow.
and
Yeah. What's that?
it's an amazing tool. I'll
Yeah.
open one to see what happens.
Yes. Show
That
us.
talks about, oh, let's see. Maybe this pops into someone. But talks
Well,
about the
yeah.
lights and the shadows of every emotion, including the ones that we think are just light, like happiness, right? So it's beautiful because it invites us to choose to understand oral emotions as valuable and
Yeah.
choose how to react to them
Yeah.
according to what is it talking to me from the light and the shadow. Am I making sense?
Oh, well, yeah, totally, totally sense for me. Yeah. And I love what you're saying about, I totally agree, that all emotions are valid and valuable. There's not one positive or one negative. And like you said, it's how we react to them and our perspective on each one. And I love this light and shadow. I'm very excited to see what comes out here.
Yeah, but I'll play with you in this one. I'm just
Okay.
thinking of this, but hopefully it's cool. Um, okay, so I'll place one here in the left, in the right.
Okay.
I'm taking random things. One in the middle
Okay.
and one in the left. So choose
Right.
one side and I'll read that one.
Can I choose the middle or does it have to be
Yeah.
left or right?
No,
Oh,
do you have
middle.
left, right, or middle? Which one you want?
Middle. Middle,
Okay.
please.
So the middle one was about selfishness. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
huge. So selfishness in the
Oh,
positives, in the light, is talking about remembering our place,
yeah.
remembering to set ourselves first and what we need so we can feel fulfilled to then place that into service for others.
Oh,
That's the
amazing. Oh,
light when we feel selfishness. The
oh, yeah.
shadow is
Okay.
when I just think about me and when I just think about my benefit, even when I had the possibility to place that into service for others, right?
Wow. Wow.
So it
Yeah.
gives perspective. It's amazing.
I, I love
Yeah, just a
that.
little tool I have for understanding emotional connection without
That's brilliant. That's
yeah.
brilliant. No, yeah, I love it. Right, who's this? Hi, I don't have your name. I don't know if you can see the name, Daniela. I can't. Hello, everybody.
Mm.
Happy to be here, share the morning with you all. Hi, lovely to see you. And hi, Paula. Lovely to see you too. Well done. Yeah, no, oh, those cards. I mean, so yeah, I really feel like I need to buy some of those now. Because I think that's what it is about perspective, isn't it? Like perspective is everything. You can have, and there's probably a gazillion more ways to look at that emotion, isn't there? You've got the light and shadow, and there's
Yes,
so many other ways as well.
totally agree. And that there is this is why for me it was so special to find the AI tool for my patients, because what I care the most about is not defining for them what emotions are. Like courage, confidence, fear, intuition, they all feel different and see different for all of us, but
Yeah,
they talk about the same things to each one of us, if that makes sense. Um, so
yeah,
for the purposes of connecting emotions with AI and positive psychology, that's what I was aiming for. I was aiming for talking to them and talking with them about their strengths, their what they've already achieved so far, what they feel connected emotionally with, which is everyone is different in those means, but we all care about deeply about some specific stuff, and we all have our own strengths and gifts. And after that self recognition, as they connected to that emotion and connected to that sense of belongingness, um, there is where I placed an image for them to remember that emotion.
yes,
So,
the image. Yeah, tell us about the images.
exactly. So its image is pretty much like for the one in my background
Love it.
is AI designed by me, and the purpose of them is making something unique for remembering what feels for you, what you're needing to feel to be better.
At that
So
moment.
at that moment, so
Okay.
there's moments that I need courage, but there's moments that I need perseverance, depending on the context and on the goals on my journey and the awareness that I want to go through that. So the images for each things of those are different, but emotionally wise, it is our emotional memory feeds from our senses. So that's why there's people that with a smell remember something, with a song remember something, the taste of something takes them somewhere else. It's all about the emotion. So connecting our emotion or how we want to feel from who we are with a visual that reminds us that unique for us became a positive emotional trigger. So what happened was that as I started exploring this in my sessions, I've my patients started sending me the screensaver of their phone, like the screenshot of I placed it here and it helps me.
Wow.
Or they started placing it in the background of their calls, like I do with mine when they talk to me, and they felt they opened up easier. Um,
Definitely.
and there is where I thought of scaling, because I feel that it's not me, it's the brilliance of the tools and the brilliance of who each one of them are genuinely, because the previous step for the images is a guided meditation that I guide for them, and I'm speaking as they meditate, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about them, about who they really are, about their strengths, and so the power is in them.
Giving
I'm
them the space. You're holding the space for them. But
exactly,
it
it's
sounds
their
very
magic.
It sounds very powerful, but how do you, so you're going through the visualization or meditation or holding the space for them. And then, so based on what words they come out with, then you, by yourself, you create that image.
Yeah, so depending on the it's not like on the visualization process, it feels very similar to like a light hypnosis. So you're there but you talk to me, and afterwards you talk to me about how you were feeling, what did you see, how did you felt, and because of the tone of voice and like the conversation, I understand what's important for them.
Yes.
um I collect that information, and bringing back to them as best as I can. Of course, the tools and our imagination will never be exactly the same, but even those variations, and like with the self touch that we can bring to the tools, um it connects to them directly,
Yeah.
as it highlights what they feel.
Yeah. Oh
Am
yeah.
I
No.
making sense?
Yes, totally. And can I ask you your background image? Can you say what emotion, I mean, what that means, or is it personal?
No, it's not very personal. I was just so one of the things I've realized or I've seen is that everyone has their unique space. I've got people in like that feel safe in football courts. I've got people that feel safe in the universe. I've got people, like, it depends. Um, but there's something I feel about when you want to bring a space of openness and clarity. I just felt creating kind of a botanic yogi garden with transparency, with the sense of transparency and the sense of sharing as much as we can, but being in our bubbles as much as we want as well, and that's okay. Um, so I just built a couple of versions of this. Um, that is for me like a botanic yogi garden, because I feel that the blues give peace. Having nature around is actually proven to
Yes,
improve well-being.
I know.
um but also demystifying the decision of being in our bubble, in our safe space, and also being able to share a space in a common ground. So that's why I wanted to play little
Wow.
bubbles, but also like a sharing space. But it was just me having fun.
So many different meanings. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's something that, like you said, when you look at that, I guess you can connect to all of those things that you've just mentioned. And I think having something visual, it's a reminder. It can be so many things. So I love what you're doing, and I definitely want to have mine done one day.
Yeah, I'd love that.
And
Definitely. And
yeah,
mhm.
no, carry on.
No,
Sorry.
that I've loved this part of my journey because it's kind of mixing up a lot of things around myself. It's not just positive psychology, but my own spirituality. Um,
Yes.
I don't know how much research there is actually in positive psychology and active imagination. I've not gone through it, but I've gone through passion, courage, and the emotions that makes us move. And
Yes.
my
Yes.
personal belief is that when we actually move and we give ourselves the space to do a small step further, is where
Yeah.
we feel the most proud of, because we feel worthy, we feel that we can.
Oh, yes. And it gives us motivation.
And
Sorry, is it too dark? Do I need to turn on the
it is
light?
a bit dark.
I'm
If you'd
gonna
like,
1 second. I'm so sorry.
do not worry. I can hold it. Thank you for the ones that are here with us,
I'm so
sharing. I really
sorry.
appreciate this call.
It was just getting darker and darker and darker. No, thanks, Daniela. What was I going to say? Yeah, thank you, everybody who's here. If you have any questions for Daniela or myself, please feel free to ask. We'd love to interact and hear your comments, questions. But yeah, no, I love that about emotions that make us move, because I think that's what we crave for the most. I mean, well, and that's what I crave for the most, I guess, because I'm a real doer, and I love, you know, feeling that I want to do something. When I feel like I don't want to do anything, it's not a good feeling for me, to be honest.
I
Does that
agree.
make
I think for everyone is very different. I recently had a talk about like dreaming and the power of dreaming, of having dreams.
okay?
Um, and sometimes the inspirational voices go too far in the dream big, dream huge, feel you can do everything and save the world. And whereas that would be awesome and would be true, sometimes it feels so far that just dreaming of having a great meal today and embracing it and enjoying that move can be huge for someone, and that's great.
Ah,
Like,
I see what you mean. Okay, yeah,
I think the important thing to highlight is that we all can have the inner power and the inner decision to do one small action every day that it sums up in the long run to then dream to save the world if we
Okay.
want. But
Great.
for our well-being, every small
Yeah.
step counts, and
Yeah.
that's emotions in
Yeah.
movement.
Yes. I see what you mean. Okay. I misunderstood that then. So wait, can you say a bit more about that actually, Danielle? It's very interesting.
What would you like to double click on?
So, I like that double click. Well, so for example, if I wake up one morning and I'm feeling like, oh, I just don't want to face today.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I
Okay.
sometimes do wake up with that feeling. So when you say emotional movement, do you mean changing the emotion to another one?
Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
being aware that we do not control what we feel. We do not control the reaction. We control what we want to keep on feeling with, right?
Okay.
So when anxiety comes, when sadness comes, when fear comes, rage comes, joy comes, it's natural to us. And the more we know ourselves, the more we learn what produces our emotions, those emotions in
Yes.
our own sense. That we can't control that much. Because it's very
Internal.
internal, like survival instinct. It's how
Yeah.
they communicate with us.
Mm.
But what we can choose is what to nurture. So as we are choosing in the physical way which muscle in the body we want to work with, emotionally is the same. So there is where we have to know that all of us have that power, all of us. And that's why there's 24 strengths, like proven that we have pieces of them and we can choose the lesser ones to strengthen them, the middle ones to strengthen them. Which one do I need best? It's tools given to us to choose for our own well-being and for our own journey in the measures that we need. So going back to your example,
Yeah.
um, when there's really difficult challenges and the emotions over that becomes like in the Soul movie, like we feel like hogged by the darkness and we don't know
Oh,
even where to start. So
yeah.
waking up, it's really hard because I don't want the day to start because I don't know how to handle with anything of this right now.
Yes.
Um, Thinking of solving everything might be too far, but thinking of I'm capable of standing up and getting a shower today,
Mm.
that I can do. So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to be aware of what's in my hands today, because that will prove me that if I could today, I can tomorrow and add a little bit more. So
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll wake up, I'll shower, I'll eat something that I like that makes me feel joy, and within that joy, I'll see if I can come up with an idea. Am
Yeah.
I making sense?
Oh, 100%. Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I think that is the key thing because, we like you said, you might wake up that day and maybe the best thing you did that day was have a shower or whatever. But I mean, you did your best that day and that was your best and that's good enough. But maybe another day your best would be to, I don't know, do something, bigger. And that's okay too. Our best is different on different days. And I think it's about embracing it, isn't it?
It is amazing. I see David's question. I'll go
Yes.
through that in the
Me.
next. Yeah.
I'll read it.
Um,
I'll just read his question. Could you describe a typical journey that you go on with a client? Who do you work with? Why do they tend to work with you? What's a typical journey? How long? So thank you very much, David, and lovely to see you.
okay. Seems you've met David.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he's a friend of mine.
You're so happy. Um, okay. So going to David's question
Yes.
now, then.
Okay.
First question, how could I describe a typical journey that I go on with a client? The first thing I want to say, there's no one fit for all. I do not have a one typical journey, which means I like to meet my clients. I like to understand what moves them to look for me and to look for any kind of help or booster for their journey. And within that, understand what works for them. So the first session looks pretty much like a coaching basis, like what's your goals, what's the possible solutions, and the milestones you want to
Mm.
work within yourself now. And goals doesn't have to be something very specific, can be just I want to be more self-secure, I want to be more confident in general, that's okay.
Yeah.
Where can we see those possible solutions, what has worked for you before, so I can understand where to start on from, more than placing actions that I'm not sure if will work or will not work with you, to then starting from there, getting to see the first, second, and fourth step to move forward within the positive psychology mindset, which is acknowledging strength, acknowledging what works first, and trying something new step by step to move towards that goal. And I always have, and I always tell my clients to have a very direct communication with me, because if
Yeah.
I come up with a solution that is not working, please let me know so we can think of another option with the same purpose. Um, because that's what matters the most, that it works for you.
Ex-
Um,
Exploring again.
Sorry.
It's about exploring again, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Um, the most important thing with me or with any other therapist is chemistry. If you feel a genuine intuitive connection with that person, it's okay, indistinct of other things, because that's where comfort and confidence starts. And the best everyone can do in their inner work journey, whom whichever they decide to. And I was telling before Jasmine that I have like 3 different people that I go to for different reasons, and that's fine. Um, is that you feel comfortable and you feel in a place that you can trust, and that you can say, this is working, this is not working, I've got this idea. I Today I just need to be listened. Today I need creativity. Ask, a place you can ask.
Yeah.
Um, who do you work with, and why do you tend to work, what do they tend to work with you, what is the typical journey, and how long does the journey take? um Usually people that come to me are people that believe in constant inner work, and that it can be many reasons. I've received from a divorce that ended up in bad use of alcohol, to I just want to manage best my boss, to heartbreak, to like it depends. Um, but genuinely, or they've come to me because they like the mindset of understanding themselves first, of building a journey that is based on courage, confidence, and creativity. Those are like my wordings, and accountability, because these are people that understand that my way of wanting to build well-being is proactively, is solving what we can solve together, but keeping the maintenance. So this will mean, for the how long this journey take with me, I always suggest to do a first month when we see each other every 8 days or 15 days for 2 months, because of the habit. It's like going to the gym, literally. At first you're very boosted because you just got it, but then you lose it and your body feels it. Emotionally it's the same. So to get the habit on, and to understand each other, and me understanding your story and what works best for you, um that's what I suggest. But it
Yeah.
depends on how everyone feels. And
Brilliant.
my patients have been with me for about 2 to 3 years, because I'm a maintenance tool, if that makes sense. So they come to me
Yeah.
every 2 months, 3 months, for one, depending on their life feel and what they want. When they need it, they can call me. And sometimes they need me for a couple of sessions. Sometimes they need me for one session, receiving some tools and then placing it. And that's fine. What I want to be is, I want to be a set of tools in service. So the more you can try them on and move forward with them, and come back when you need tools again, or when you need to bounce emotions and get perspective, and learn some other tools, I'm very happy to help in that long term journey, um,
Amazing.
because that's what I believe in. That's also why I say nobody can do the work for us, because I can go to therapy every 8 days, but if I don't do the work in
Yeah.
between and own those tools and feel them and
Right.
understand what works and doesn't work with me, I might, it'll be harder.
And I
Did
think
I
I love.
answer your questions, David? Let me know if you want to know anything else.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Daniela. I think you explained it very well. And I think I totally agree as well that what you said about working on ourselves. It is, and I do believe it is our responsibility. It might not be our fault, or why something's happened, why we're feeling a certain way, but I really do believe we are the only ones who can do something about it. And there's no quick fix. And David says, "Thank you for your super answer." David, we must
David.
connect soon. But so yes, and I really do, agree. It's a job. It's not called work for nothing. It can be difficult. It is difficult, I think, but it's worth it, isn't it? It's worth it.
Actually, that's why I chose positive psychology. I know we're already a
Yes.
bit there, but this is very
Yeah.
important. I found positive psychology because my parents split up, and I knew this was going to be the hardest thing ever for my family, especially for my mom. Um, and I didn't want, I am a psychologist, and I felt it very hard to walk with her through a mindset of this is hard because it is, because we
Yes.
know it is. I
Yes.
needed some solutions and I needed tools that I can't be her therapist, but I can give to her and see how it goes. And it actually saved us in many ways. But
Yeah.
to think of our strengths, how strong have we been so far already that it will makes us strong enough to go through this, to
Yeah.
give that power back to people, knowing that they are worthy for existence, that they've already got a journey. If
Yeah.
you're 1 year old or 30 or 50 or 60, you've got a journey that has proven you strength.
Yes. Yes.
And
No.
that's why I
Yeah.
love positive psychology.
No, I love it. And I think, I totally agree. Just before we go as well, that because it's quite easy when you go through something difficult, it's quite easy. And I know I've done it for years, where you could go into that mindset of blaming the situation, blaming somebody else. And that's really what I realized and I've learned, so disempowering. And it leaves you just in a powerless situation. So I think, like what you said about wanting to be in the correct mindset, I think that's everything, because then you're going to react to the whole situation in a way that serves you and helps you grow rather than disempowers you.
Totally. And helps you understand the learnings when you screw up. Sorry for the French, but it will happen anyways. Like you can't, we all have
Exactly.
like an ongoing eternal internal journey. We'll still screw up, but
Yes. Yes.
the mindset
Embrace
towards
it.
it will make it different. Will make it more resilient.
Embrace
Yeah.
the screw-ups.
See, embrace the screw ups. That will be another amazing talk I'd like to
Yes,
do.
that will definitely be enough.
Definitely embrace the
And
screw ups.
and Daniela and I have got some exciting things coming soon, and we will
Yeah.
talk about that later. But Daniela, how can people find you? Is there anything else you want to say before we finish? And how can people find you?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me today. I really appreciate the people that went here. I appreciate the people that participated. That's always, I'm very approachable. So the best way of reaching out to me is LinkedIn, Daniela C Merlano. There's where you can find me and get to know a little bit of my story. And also, I'm some weeks from launching the beta product of Thrive. It's meant to be an app, and it's meant to be an app where you can have active imaginations and create your images according to how you're feeling, and furthermore express yourself to understand what makes you feel some ways and how to nurture that. So if you're interested, go to thrive.io, thrive.io. And happy to receive you there in the wait list. This is the first step
Wow.
to understand the feedback, and from that feedback create together a better product to help more people in the future. That's my goal. So yeah.
Amazing. And maybe you can post the links on LinkedIn to your, because that might be hard to remember. Thanks, Jasmine. You're brilliant as always. Thanks, David. And thanks to Daniela for your wisdom. All the best, David, a professional screw up. Oh, thanks, David. But no, brilliant. Thank you so much, Daniela. And looking forward to connecting with you again very soon. And thank you, everybody. Please contact Daniela if you want to know anything else about this. It's so exciting. It's so interesting. And we will be in touch soon. And I'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. Bye. Have a lovely